Was that part of it?
To back up over something. You might have to come around some cones like this. They're going to ask for a back and figure 8 pattern. So you got to what they do is when you go to an event, they have over like 200 different obstacles that are EXCA sanctioned obstacles. And it may be something from opening a gate, going over a jump, roping something, backing a figure 8 pattern, going through ditches, moving some cows, shooting pistols, whatever. These are all obstacles that, the types of obstacles that we do.
Do you know what kind of obstacles are going to be there?
No, they will not tell us any, they will not tell us what obstacles are there. When we go to an event, we don't find out what our pattern is or what the obstacles are until we get there, and it's about an hour before the event.
And you guys are going to the World Championship?
Yes.
And that's in
Topeka, Kansas.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's one of the natures of this event. You take any other competition like reining, barrel racing, roping, whatever, you know what you're going to be doing at that event.
Okay.
Like a reining pattern, you don't know your actual pattern, but you know every maneuver that you're going to be practicing. For instance, a spin or a slide or a rollback, whatever, but so you can practice that at home. Whereas with this event, you have no idea what they're going to have for you. I mean, you just practice things that you think they might have, but when you get there, you might, like last time we went to an event, we had to ride our horses through a kiddie pool with whoopee cushions in it.
Oh, wow.
And so to get a horse to ride through that, some horses really have a problem with that. So basically what they're looking for is a horse that's all around, that you can do about anything you ask your horse to do. If you need to back a circle, back a circle. If you need to rope something and wind it up, you need to do that. So whatever they ask you to do, you basically want your horse to be able to do it. Now something that they judge is they judge your approach and your departure from an obstacle. So in other words, when you, like whenever I have to, like here, what they're going to say is, like I'll have to rope this barrel and then wind it up. And what they're going to do, like when I came in to get my rope here, if I come up there and I make a real nice clean stop, I'm going to score better than if my horse has to, go running past it, or if I have a hard time stopping my horse. Same thing with departures. If I can just get my horse to roll over the back of his hindquarters and depart, I'm going to score higher than if my horse just kind of trots off and slowly speeds up. Get this rope here untangled.
So this is timed too, as well, right?
It's all timed, yeah, and it's timed overall.
Do you get in competition? Do you get to practice at all, or?
No, not once you get there. And and you don't get to warm up in the arena or anything.
Wow.
As far as they'll have a separate arena for you to warm up in, but as far as that's another thing that's challenging, is because your horse, like my horse, he knows this bridge here. And so he goes over it with confidence. But if you get to the competition and they have a little different bridge with different maybe dummies or whatever around it, that can scare a horse or cause him to hesitate.
Seems like this competition is really about the training of the horse, huh?
Absolutely. You're going to like it, and the faster your time is going to be overall. So handling this is pretty important. Like my departure now, if I depart just kind of real slow and kind of trot off, they're not going to like that kind of a departure as much as if I can come from here, and let's say my next obstacle would be a bridge. If I can take my horse and go from a standstill to a, to run off.
Oh.
So, like I said, they judge you on approach, execution of your obstacle, and departure.
Oh, neat.
And like I said, there's over 200 different obstacles that you could do. So all we're doing with our obstacle course is we just try to imitate what we can possibly think. Okay, I'm Zeke, Zacharias, and this is my brother Sid.
I'm Sid Zacharias, that's correct.
So how'd you guys get into this sport? Seems kind of unique.
Well, we grew up riding and training horses, and a couple years ago we were at a horse expo, and the president of this association is Craig Cameron. He's a clinician, and he was at that expo, and so he was down there, and he invited us to the event, and it was new to our region. It was the first time that this event came to the north central region, which is Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa.
And another thing that really kind of caused our attention to this particular sport was horsemanship. We're real big on horsemanship instead of just fast and wrong. Slow and right beats that. So we were impressed by the way that horsemanship is ranked above speed, and that's something that I guess attracted us to the sport as well.
You must have to work with your horses a lot to get them to do all these events. How much do you train with your horses?
Well, we try to ride as often as we can. If I can ride my horse, 3 or 4 times a week when I'm preparing for this, that's pretty important.
For how long do you ride the horse?
Usually about an hour a day.
Hour a day?
Yeah.
Does it take him a while to get used to the different events?
It does. I guess a lot depends on the attitude of your horse. If you have a horse that's more skeptical and sensitive by nature, it's going to be more work than if you have one that's more laid back and adapts fast. What's
a key characteristic as far as the horses being good at this? I mean, they probably have to be really smart, I would imagine. Yeah.
Well, obviously you want one that is somewhat athletic, but the main thing is to have one that really works with you. As far as whenever you ask him to do something, he does it now without hesitation. So again, a lot of it, what they're judging you by is the horsemanship and partnership you have with your horse. So you can have a fast, athletic horse, but if you can't get them to cooperate with you when you want to, you're not going to score.
This might sound like a silly question, but do the horses like it? Do you think?
Oh, I think it gives them a lot of variety. It makes it interesting for them, and they're. I would say whether or not they like it depends on how you treat them as a rider.
Well, it's definitely not boring.
Yeah.
I mean, every single race is a little different, so it definitely keeps them on their toes as well as us. It really expands both of their horizons.
I've done a little bit of team roping for practice, but we've never competed.
Okay.
A lot.
Do you find any rodeo folks that do both, or?
Oh yeah.
I would think that they're such good horse.
Yeah, we get a lot of rodeo people that like to compete, and some do well. But the thing, like I said, about this event that makes it a lot more challenging is the variety and the all-around horse that you have to have. You take a barrel horse that's hot, he may do very good. He may do great on barrels, but if they're not calm and quiet and they can't slow that horse down, they won't do well with the rest of the obstacles.